Okay. All right. Welcome to Hello Chaos, a weekly podcast exploring the messy and chaotic lives and minds of founders, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Every week, we talk to founders from different industries at different company stages of all shapes and sizes. And we get to hear the real, the raw, the unbiased founder stories. It's why our mantra is where aha meets oh shit. We drop new episodes every single Sunday. Founders tune into us for tips and insights and strategies on not just growing their business, but also better ways to become better owners, better founders, better leaders as they're scaling their business. Hello Chaos is one of the many resources brought to you by Orange Whip. That is Orange Whip, WIP for work in progress. Orange Whip is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities. We've designed hyper-local media platforms that are designed to inform, inspire, and create connections to help founders succeed. Our innovative digital zines are an all-in-one content hub. We've got fresh and engaging stories. We curate the local calendars of all the different organizations that serve founders, but we curate all those calendars. We create local dynamic roadmaps to help founders navigate those local entrepreneurial ecosystems that can be really hard to navigate sometimes. We've done all the hard work for founders, so they'll need to go to one trusted source to find the local information they need. It's the Orange Whip. Every city has to have one. My name is Jennifer Sutton. My friends and family call me JJ. I am the founder of Orange Whip and will be your host today. And we have Britton Briley, founder of Ghost Brands, a marketing agency out of Greenville, South Carolina. Welcome, Britton. Welcome to the chaos.
Hey, JJ, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so glad that you got to come on. I know we were joking around like the LinkedIn DMs of like scrolling past the paid sponsored crap. Like Price is Right. I call it like the wheel. Just keep going, scroll. So I'm glad that you saw the message and the invite and could be on today.
Yeah.
So start out. Just tell us about your entrepreneurial journey. How did you start your company?
Yeah. I guess, I came from a middle-class family. So the one thing I would say is entrepreneurship is not in the vocabulary of a middle-class family. Normally just work, 9 to 5, you get your golden pin after 30 years and you're out. So I guess, I don't know, I found a niche or whatever, but I guess journey from working for corporate America, climbing different ladders, just getting sick of getting to the top of the mountain. Okay, where do I go from here? I'm tired. I'm exhausted from working for one company, or it's you reach as high as you can. And, it's just, I guess my entrepreneur journey started, just in high school, working out of class, like right after my block schedule got out at Wade Hampton High School, I went straight to work. So it's just constantly just pushing.
So you're even a native of Greenville.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I consider I was born in Arkansas, but I've lived in Greenville so long that I consider myself a Greenville native.
Yeah. So what's been the most rewarding part? So you started your company, you've kind of done things on your own. What's been the most rewarding aspect of that?
Honestly, it might sound a little weird to say, but just seeing a company go from nothing to something with the help of what our team can do, I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, I'll give you an example real fast of like Hip Burger. Hip Burger's a food truck here in town. People know him. He's one of one in Malden. Started as a nice orange, Hello Chaos, the orange color. Just went around Greenville to all these different events, and we helped with the food truck, the design, the concept, the look, the feel, like everything. Then he did a restaurant. He now has expanded to more restaurants and more locations. I'm like, just to see that journey and track that rewarding, saying what we were able to plant a seed 4 or 5 years ago has come to fruition now through this journey.
Yeah, that is awesome. So, okay, I'm going to give you a Mythbuster moment here. So, what's the biggest misconception that you think people have about being an entrepreneur that you think is a myth, but how would you debunk it?
Can I do two real fast?
No, absolutely.
Financial freedom and your own time. So
okay,
I say that real fast. Financial freedom, yes, you have more money coming in. Yes, you can do what you want to, but you're always pumping money back in the business. People don't understand that. Like, you spend all this money, all these toys, all this, all that. You're spending 3, 4, 5 times the amount if you just were not an entrepreneur, between offices to computers to employee to payroll to taxes to cars to it's just so much that people think, I have, we do this journey to have financial freedom, but you're pumping 10x back in the company, not just pocketing that. So that's the
That's
first
right.
thing. And second, if you're a true founder and entrepreneur, you work 24/7, 365 on your craft, on your brand. It's not like, hey, I can just check out for 2 weeks and goodbye.
Right,
There's always something
right.
we're trying to constantly do.
It's so bad. I think that's the number one thing if people think, oh, I can do the 4-day work week.
Yeah. I wish. Oh, when's the last time I worked a part-time job?
Yeah.
4 days a week.
And I think I asked you, I was like, I know we're coming, this is 4th of July week for everybody, that we're recording, but I was like, what are you doing? You're like, I'm working. Like, same. Raise your hand. And I love that you talk about the financial freedom. When we talk to other founders and entrepreneurs or helping them kind of scale their business, and we're like, what we hear most from, what would be the desire? Like, I know I get your pain points of how to help you in your business, but it's like, what would be that, flip side? What's the desire? And what I've heard more often is not necessarily financial freedom. It's just freedom to make the decision I've got the freedom to be able to now hire this team, or the freedom to basically now I can go and expand, a product line in manufacturing, or financial freedom. Like, now I can actually go take my family on a vacation because we haven't been able to take off for 5 years because we've invested all time, money, and energy into the business.
I think it's psychology. I think it's us as humans not wanting to be tied down, especially in today's modern era compared to, boomers that, would stay at a job for 30, 40 years. We always want to either shift, move, and we don't want to be complacent or stagnant. So I think founders and owners love to say, hey, I make the decisions. I can choose what I want to do, yes or no. I can basically have my decisions say yes or no versus a boss telling me what to do.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so tell me, this is aha moment. What was the biggest breakthrough moment, or maybe a significant, a decision that had a significant impact on your business? What was the biggest aha moment for you?
Oh, aha, like a significant impact on my business or my journey?
Either one.
I think being let go from UFC Gym.
They're
actually one of my clients now, which is funny. So they're watching it. Thank you for hiring me back as an agency. But being let go because I didn't fit their culture. That was what I was told. I was told I don't fit their culture. I'm like, okay, what is the culture that you are instilling?
What did you learn from that? What was that?
I learned that, I used to say I a lot. Now I say we a lot. I'm being completely honest there. I'm being a transparent, open thing. It was me, 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 me. And not as a selfish thing, but my vernacular and how I said it. Now it's team, we, us.
Yeah.
It was a corporate job, and I was a workaholic. So all I did was work, work, work. And that's where that I comes into play.
Right.
I did that. And so then after I got let go, I shifted gears, started my own company. I was like, okay, it's not just me. It's who's around me, who's helping build us, who's doing the stuff on the back end that I definitely can't do. Right. So it's a we mentality and us and a team collaboration.
That's right. I love that. It's something that I started the practice in our company of even when it was just me. Yep. I was like, my vision is to create a business and a brand that's much bigger than me. So I started using that vernacular like day one. When I started, I was like, it was always we. And I even tell our team of like, it's not just you. You've got a whole team behind you that is supporting you, that's raising you up. And so important. And I tell new founders, they're like, oh, it's just, I've got to do this, or I've got to tell the client it's all about, it's me, me, me. I was like, no. Unless you're going to be just a solopreneur and that's all your brand's ever going to be. But shift that mindset to go, if your dream is to hire people and scale the company, start with the we. Exactly. Even from day one.
Definitely.
Because it does change your mindset too, doesn't it?
It does.
When you just use it, when you use the we.
Yeah. It's like, what was it the other day? My wife threw me under the bus when I did it. I don't know what it was. I was saying something. She says, not you, it's the team. I was like, oh, you're right, honey. I was like, damn, fuck you. Whatever. So
like, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So what, stressful, like, is there routines or do you deal with stress? Do you get stressed? Or are you type of guy that's like,
no, every day.
Fuck it, bring it on. I'm like, I can do this.
I feel like if I'm not stressed, I'm not doing my job. I think, and this for marketing, it's like, marketing is the last thing a company brings on, but it's the first thing they go if they're struggling. And so saying
Right.
that, I'm constantly stressed to make sure we hit metrics, KPIs, what we're doing, how we're thinking, innovative trends. The Hawk 2 girl. Are we going to use that?
Oh my God, yes.
Like constantly thinking. I feel like it's a cog in a wheel that constantly goes, and stress is just part of the journey. It's stress management in the founder's position. I think that matters is how do you manage that stress and cope with it and deal with what doesn't affect your attitude, your workplace, your financials, or your family time.
Yeah. So what do you do to manage your stress?
I ride my motorcycle around.
Okay.
So I take my bike and I just cruise. It's something I have control of. I'll go a little faster than I'm supposed to, but it's my decompression area.
Yeah. That freedom.
Yep,
Get out in the fresh air. Yeah. All right. I have a question for you. I'm just curious. What would you do, or what would you be doing if you had no fears?
If I had no fears.
Would you be running an agency, or would you be doing something else?
Absolutely not. If I had no fears, I'm trying to think what I would do. I mean, I've always wanted to join the military, be part of that, do like SEAL training, but it's so rigorous and stuff. I want to be in law enforcement, but my wife kicked that out because it is dangerous. There is a lot of stuff. There's things that I would love to do. I'm trying to think if I wasn't in what I'm doing, if I had no fears, what would I do? Honestly, I would love to do Formula One or motocross racing, but I think I'd die first race. So a lot of different things I would do. So
so you're a gearhead. You'd get out there and just be on the track.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the road.
Yeah.
Or you said SEAL team. Mm-hmm. Things with guns.
Yes. I actually have a big gun right beside me over here.
With guns. All right. And so everyone can be afraid of you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So besides that, what do you think people would be surprised? That's not on your LinkedIn. It's not, in your profile, but what would our listeners be most surprised to learn about you?
I think honestly, from looking at the camera and seeing I'm a huge Star Wars geek. Like I watch Accolade, I watch all the prequels, I watch Rogue One. Like I have a 7-foot statue right behind me of a stormtrooper that I got from Halloween Highway when they closed down on. I think I'm the biggest geek and nerd that you know. Well, looking at me though, with muscles and tattoos, backwards hat, you'd never assume me to be like, oh my gosh, you see Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, the trilogy. Like people are like, bro, get out of here. So like, I think that's the most unique thing that people don't know, that I'm a huge geek.
Well, I love it. Well, I'm a DC comic nerd, and I write fan fiction and certain fandom, so we'll geek out together.
You're definitely DC over Marvel?
I'm DC. So, okay. So here's my thing. I like the Marvel. So 2 different universe. Marvel movies are better.
Yep.
Hands down. But from a comic book perspective, DC and the characters are much better. They're much more interesting. They're actually, they've got issues, right? There's the Marvel ones that's like they're not as dimensional, right?
Who's your favorite DC character?
Oh, well, hands down, Batman, Wonder Woman.
So real question. Christian Bale, Michael Keaton.
You mean like so I don't know. Michael Keaton, because he was the first. Yeah. I think the OG. But I'll tell you, Christian Bale. That whole the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah.
Was interesting. And okay, so we're gonna geek out for a little bit on just something because I gotta talk about it because a lot of people don't realize it because I'm starting to fall in love with the Batman, the Reeves series, right? Because it's truly the Reeves is true to the comics. So like the 80s, the Long Halloween, the Batman one. I mean, he is literally following, and it's the same, tone and the mood. It is the truest to the comics. Nolan took like the decade long of the 80s and 90s, but blended them all together and kind of weaved his own, story. Yeah. Fantastically done. I mean, like, can't compete with,
I want to continue with the Robin series because they just cut off at 3 movies.
I know. It was like they kind of did that tease, and then it's like, oh man, why?
But
But yeah, it was like if that would have gone on, I mean, from a cinematography and a story, I mean that it was fantastic, right? But from truest the I'm starting to love the Batman series, but yeah, definitely, Michael Keaton OG and I grew up in the 80s, I didn't grow up in the, but that's when I read and collected the comics. And I did like the X-Men series. You got Stan Lee's, the Spider-Man and which is like Marvel adjacent, I guess. Because they've got it's complex characters, much more in depth. But yeah, I did my college dissertation on the history of Batman and its effect on pop culture media. And I love the whole the background and like the storyline of like how Wonder Woman was created and like the behind the scenes. I mean, those just fascinate me and how things have influenced pop culture. But yeah,
we could geek out
total geek out moments. All right. So okay, so here's an oh shit moment for you. So what has been the biggest in your journey in your business where you've just like hit a wall or a challenge and you're like, holy shit, what have I done? And how did you overcome it?
I think it was selling one of the biggest websites we ever developed. And we knew 80-90% on how to build it, but there was some back-end fulfillment stuff. They're like, okay, crap, oh shit, how do we figure this out to bring it to fruition? Because hey, we can sell the vision as owners and founders and entrepreneurs.
Like, we can do it.
We can sell ice to Eskimo, dirt to a worm, and water to a fish. But at the end of the day, it's like, how do we fulfill it? And I always say, the biggest thing is like, ideas are shit, execution's everything. Because I can have an idea for a flying car tomorrow, but if I can't make it realistic, why not bring it up? So those things. So I think our oh shit moment was we sold a website way back in the day for a tech company. Fulfillment had a bunch of, Cloudflare, had a lot of different integration of the back end, fulfillment, shipping, all the stuff that's sort of like a back end of an AWS store that is done on their own native platform. And we're like, oh man, this is such a big contract. It's amazing. It's fantastic. We can build the front end very well as the back end. So to bring in a couple of developers and figure out the back end and pay a little bit more than we wanted to. But that was my old shit saying, if I can't bring this to client and finish this out, I'm screwed.
That's right. You got to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll figure it out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll always figure it out. Okay, so if you had to hit rewind on anything, is there anything you would do differently?
Honestly, don't know if you know this. And some people do, some people don't. I used to be the company used to be called Viking Solutions.
Okay, I did not know. Okay.
Yeah. So it was based off more a little bit of Norwegian blood, historical background, family tree, whatever you would call it. And I ran into that thinking, hey, me again. Me, not the team. And so from 2018 to 2020, we operated as Viking Solutions and then really sat back, took 5 steps back, said, okay, who do we represent? What do we do? How do we rebranded to Ghost Brands? I wish I would have done that earlier and really sat down and gone through a SWOT analysis, gone through a buying persona, gone through what we represent, our psychology, our tone, our voice, basically like make a brand standard for an agency or make a brand standard for your company to understand your goal and vision and not attach it to a person, but attach it to who you represent and what you do and your impact.
Yep.
If I could go back and do that, man, I would save myself so much time, energy, and effort, trademarks, looks, feels, people that we align with in our circles, clients that we don't want to deal with anymore, people that don't meet our expectations, psychology, or scope. Like, man, that was 2 years of amazing growth, but also so much learning curves that I'm surprised sometimes I'm sitting in the seat now.
I know. I've been through that. That was a big wall for me. We had the brand, but it was like trying to get people aligned. We're in the people business, right? More than anything.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And trying to get that. Challenges. Okay. If you could pick 2 things about your business that you could change today, what 2 things would you change and why?
What would I change? Wow. I'm trying to think.
I
think, man, that's hard. That's a,
is that a doozy?
Things I would change. I think,
like, hey, would you want to get, would you want 10 new clients today?
No, I know that sounds bad. I got plenty.
You're like, I'm good.
I think if I could change stuff, it's clients' expectations, maybe, possibly. They
Oh,
have outrageous expectations.
oh yeah, because everyone's a marketer, but
Man,
yet they're not a marketer.
yeah, it's clients' expectations, and then I would say team mindset. And what I mean by that is
Yeah.
we have a great culture, we have a great company here, we have great people, but I think sometimes our own mindsets go in different directions. They don't align with either what we do here in house or we deal with our client. Like, client yesterday, and again, being a vulnerable moment here at Ghost, client sat down, hey, Britton, you know us, what we represent, our tone, our voice, our website, you've done all this stuff. I feel like some of your staff don't understand our purpose. And I'm like, man.
Oh, that's a burn.
And I'm like, damn. I'm like, okay, we have everything aligned, but there's some people in this office that understand your purpose, and your purpose is everything for a company.
Yes.
And why you're doing it, it goes from the CEO all the way to technicians or the administrative team. I'm like, man, their purpose is everything. And I was like, man, okay, tell me your purpose, and I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna go put it on everybody's boards in the office. Every whiteboard gets it. So it's those things I think I could change.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Okay, so next year we're sitting down, we're having some beers, having some cocktails or whatever, and we're celebrating. What would we be celebrating?
Either two things. Number one, the successful selling of Ghost.
You're like, buy me.
There's always an exit strategy with every owner. If someone comes and says, Britton, hey, I'll buy you out, do this, do that, fantastic. Do you align with where this is going? That'd be the first thing.
You're like, I'm done. I'll go take a vacation.
Yeah, I go finally take a vacation. Or number two, it'd honestly just be probably sitting down and celebrating friendship. I'm a relationship-based person. So if it's just sitting down, taking time, I'm having a meeting on Friday with a kid trying to start a landscape company. It has nothing to do with he's not paying us. We're just sitting down and just seeing how to help with no expectations on cost, scope, or anything, because it's relationship based. Hey, you might succeed and go amazing. I want to celebrate that with you as a human being versus how can you benefit me or how can I benefit you? So.
Yeah. I love it. Well, we'll earmark this, and a year from now we'll celebrate.
Yeah, deal.
We'll sit down. We'll celebrate with that. Whatever. So what is the best piece of advice that you've been given that you would want to pass along to other founders that might be listening?
I think trust the process. And what I mean by that, and that's so cliche too. I'm going to dive a little bit into that as well. Trust the process as in fiduciary or financial sides of it is. There's days that you have money in the account. Like, this is amazing. There's weeks, okay, I'm getting pretty close on that payroll. I'm getting close on this client contract. If they don't make it, you always map out for, especially on the agency side. I think I'm trying to think when you trust the process, it could be in so many different avenues. Does my wife understand the vision of Ghost and how I'm trying to build an empire? So then I can spend I want to build for 10 years to have the next 40 or 50 with her without worrying. The process of family to financial to trust your people and trying to delegate, they will fail you every single week to month. But you pick them back up, you lead by example, and you trust the process, saying they're going to learn and develop. So that's sort of it's a double-edged sword on trust the process, but it's multiple different facets and multiple different avenues.
Oh, I like it. How do you stay focused?
Either podcasts, going to the gym, and honestly, I hate to say it, I'm not sponsored by them. Ghost energy drinks are not. They're not by Ghost brands.
I was like, what is that? Okay.
Christian and Daniel in Chicago love them to death. They have a supplement company, a lifestyle company that makes energy. I drink energy drinks for days. Really hook me up to an IV. I'm good to go.
You are energy drink. Okay. What's the background behind Ghost, the name?
So took a step back and thought about what we do. We're behind the scenes. At first, it was gonna be like phantom marketing. It was gonna be like we were gonna do like a ghost with like flames on it. We're like, we're gonna do like a different ghost that looked different. So we went.
You could have had a Star Wars theme, the Imperial.
Exactly. But yeah, definitely, Ghost was like we post like Ghost. We're behind the scene. We're the secret marketing agency. Sort of Ghost just rolled off the tongue. We're here. We're present, but you don't know we're here because we want a lot of our clients. We want people to know that we represent them, but we're not here pumping out like who do we represent. We want people to say, who does that? Oh, that's Ghost. That's fantastic. I never know that, but I know what they represent. So
I like it. All All right. So you said podcast. Besides this, I know this is your favorite one. No, I'm just kidding. So what's your favorite podcast that's like your go-to?
Well, so a lot more podcast, books, audiobooks. I mean, it just depends. I mean, right now I'm on an audiobook phase a lot.
Okay.
Between Simon Sinek, Start with Why, those things.
Yeah.
I've read all the Grant Cardones, buy an apartment building, never own a house, own a jet. money. I've gone through that phase as well. I think actually I finished a book. Actually, I read it every year. It's called Selling the Invisible by Harry Beckwith.
That's a good one.
It's a great one. It's something people can't touch. It's finding new books to sort of inspire and listen and learn, but it's also rereading books because stuff I've missed. That even though I read a book, I listen to it, I've gone through it. There's something that might speak to me at some point in my life. Say, oh my gosh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Or Be Our Guest by the Walt Disney Corporation. I don't agree with all their philosophies on life, but
we're in the hospitality business.
Exactly. How do we about like a golden goose, or how do we show that true authenticity or the experience that people are going to go through with me or the team or whoever it is? So,
have you read Essentialism? Because that's a good one. You need to put that on your list if you have not.
I have not. No.
That's a good one. It's just got some solid nuggets.
Really
good takeaways. Yeah.
Because I just downloaded a bunch of different ones that I was listening to and saw all around everything. So let me just actually pull one up. Super Communicators by Charles. Obviously, Atomic Habits, James Clear. That one's normal. Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. That's the one I want to start.
Is that an audiobook?
Yeah, I'm all
okay. You're like on your audiobooks. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different ones, but it's taking the time. Like when I was in Nevada last week, flying on a plane, I was just listening on the plane, listening, trying to take this. But then again, let me re-listen because there's something I might have missed because I might have been distracted by peanuts and some Sprite on the flight compared to a movie that someone's watching beside me. So it's like
a little child scream.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So who has been your greatest cheerleader?
My wife for sure.
All right.
She is such a champ through all of this, between financial strain to getting an office building, moving out of the third bedroom of our house to getting an office, trusting that. She's my biggest cheerleader. Now she's my biggest critic and my biggest cheerleader. She is a double-edged sword, and I love her for that. She'll say,
well, sometimes you got to have a cheerleader that's also a critique or critic, because otherwise, you're not learning, you're not growing. It's like that's somebody, you got to have somebody that's going to tell you the truth.
Absolutely.
Right?
Definitely. Don't sugarcoat it.
That's right. All right. We're at the last one. Like, if you had to sum up your entrepreneurial journey in just one word, what would it be and why? I ask every founder.
I'll show this on screen, not for a plug, but this sums up the past.
I cannot wait. What?
I have a book called Entrepreneurship.
Not
entrepreneurship. You take the P away and put the T. And the reason I preference that one word is entrepreneurship is not just a upward slope. We talk about there's ups and downs.
Yeah.
There's a bunch
It's a roller coaster.
A roller coaster. I would say entrepreneurship, because it's like, what do you have to do, go through, find out? But there's a silver lining at the end of the tunnel, saying everything you've gone through, all that shit is building your character, building your business, building your brand, building the people around you, funneling their life, impacting your clients. It's a lot of shit. But then of it, you become to entrepreneurship. So that's what
it is, where aha meets oh shit. It's entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
Is what that is.
Exactly.
And you said that you wrote a book. Was that a book that you held up?
The book, yeah.
Where do you get that?
Amazon.
Is it okay? So look it up.
Yeah.
Britton Briley, entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Also got my office. If you want to get one for free, swing by the office. You can have one.
That's right. I'm going to drive by.
Yeah.
Do a drive by. All right. I cannot believe it. We are out of time. Always amazed at how fast these things go. Before we go, though, how do you want people to connect with you?
Yeah, they can find us online. Just look up Ghost Brands. Anywhere on Google, you'll find us. We have office on Miller Road right here in Greenville, South Carolina. You can, obviously hit us up through all the social channels, the Ghost Brands or Ghost Brands on social. Just look for the little ghosty icon, or you can just give us a call or shoot us an email, or like I said, swing by. We're here.
Perfect. All right, everyone. We will make sure that we tag and everything, so our listeners can find you. But thanks for hanging out with us today. I appreciate it. It was great. For everyone listening and watching us live, thank you for joining us. This podcast, again, will be published this coming Sunday, available on your favorite podcast platforms. So subscribe to Hello Chaos, like, comment, and share this great content. Help us build a more connected entrepreneurial community. Hello Chaos is one of the many resources brought to you by Orange Whip. That is Orange Whip, WIP for Work in Progress. We are a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities. We are in 3 areas of South Carolina today: the upstate, Midlands, and Low Country, with goals to expand to 30 markets in the next year and years to come. Every market needs to have an Orange Whip. We are the connective tissue within the entrepreneurial community. Just your email to join our community. Again, we are a one-stop content hub just for founders, delivered in an innovative digital zine experience. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast or support us, send us an email to hello@orangewhip.com. Y'all, thank you for tuning in to Hello Chaos. It is where Aha meets Oshett. I'm your host, Jennifer Sutton, aka JJ, and we will see you again next week.